Good evening, everybody. Hello there. How are you? Hi there, Dave. So something new vibe, from wisdom into wellness. I am into wellness already, so I'm happy with what they are trying to do. So I'm going to bring in my wellness. You know, you guys know about that, right? I'm into wellness of the individual by promoting human beings' uh, enhancement, I call it. Human being the humor, whereas the um, physical and mental bodies, and the being the spiritual being, right? So I work on all those three levels for the individual. Then I work for the wellness of the systems, healthcare systems, and then I work for the wellness of the uh, society, with the society evils and all. Like today, I'm going to talk about a new report I heard on the alcoholism in women, how it has grown because the advertisement. And then also, I'm worried about the planet's health. So wellness and planet are my two passions really. So I'm glad that New Vibe is promoting wellness with everybody. So I'll do my best to promote that and to help with the app community with whatever I know. I will be sharing that. Okay. Um, about today's topic. Hi, Jacob. Today's topic is simple living and higher thinking, which is equals to happiness. Age old saying, right? So when I heard that, uh, it was a very, very young age when I heard this from the works of Gandhi, right? I was reading him very early, and he talked about being simple and thinking hard. And he had lived like that, you see. He kind of put up some ashrams which are made up of thatched houses and all that. And everybody who came there, they kind of divided the work and did everything. And they kind of made their own clothing. They cleaned the bathrooms and everything. They didn't have any maids, or they didn't have anybody lower class people or anything like that, so that was a very beginning introduction to this kind of orientation, right? Live simply and think rather high means not just for your own comforts, your own thing, but more about what are going to do for the society, what are going to do for the larger populations and all to the world. There was a philosophical saying that I was introduced to was, what are you contributing to the life versus what are you doing for your own livelihood? That was a very important aspect in my upbringing. So, what do you do for everybody else? What do you do for the society? That kind of thing. So, this simple living and high thinking is very relevant to us now because the planet. See how we are looking at the planet almost at the extinction, and also how much waste we are generating. We can have simple pleasures, we can have a few things that we need, or we may need a little bit more, that's fine. But this unconscious waste that we generate and we destroy the planet that way is unconscionable. Okay, plastic, for example, how easy it is for to go and carry a cloth bag with you and then get all your things in that groceries. But you go there and you get 10 plastic bags that will be staying forever, right? So that kind of thing. So simple living means living with as simple as possible in our food, in our clothing, in our constructions, in our daily activities. I know this goes against the American culture where you kind of invent people to think about things that they never thought about, and that was supposed to be big deal, and the marketers are given a lot of rewards because they come up with these ideas and all that, yeah, that's there, that life was there. But then we also went for the recycling, we went for the wastage prevention, waste renewal, and we went for minimalism. So many things are going on, but the central to that is simple living. So can we take simple living at our daily life, like I can, right, I can do something on that. Instead of buying so many clothes, I can do with a few, right? Instead of putting up the electricity in all the rooms that are not used, maybe I can switch on the lights only on the rooms that I'm going to use, or after I'm leaving, just to shut it off. Or there are mechanisms now that you can install scanners. When people come in, the lights come on. When we go out, the lights go away. That way, we can save a lot of energy, a lot of water. So that kind of simplicity, that we need some effort and some care, some awareness of what is going on, and that could contribute a lot to that, right? So that's my view. And also, high thinking, how does it help happiness? Is it kind of gives you clarity. It gives you being more alert and awakened mind, and it kind of really helps you to be healthy to begin with. So if you live simply, if you don't complicate things outwardly, then your stress level will be less too. And then if you really go into the depth of the matters, understand life in a much different way, that will contribute to your clarity, and the clarity helps you a lot and keep you alert and aware and in the moment. That's a wonderful thing to do. Of course, we go into a lot of details about the elements of the life, about the human interaction, about the sociality, about so many things that we really think deep and then come with solutions. Like even in this new app that you guys have invented now, is going to be uh, encourage people to do these broad aspects we are already talking for the earth, for the wellness of the society, for the encouraging fundraising for the causes that you listed. All those are the causes that I contributed before, I have worked for, and I'm delighted to see them. So now it kind of app stands for some these things, and then we are happy to contribute to them through the app, and also we are happy that the app is thinking of bigger causes like that, right? We all do, but then there's a way now to do what we are doing daily. At the same time, it is supporting the causes that I dearly hold with my heart. How? Because I thought through them, I kind of identified them, and I said, okay, I'm going to be supportive of this already. So since 80s, I have been supporting so many causes that are there: forest, cancer, so earth protection, so many things. I was already very happy to contribute. I feel good when I'm contributing to the causes that I believe in, right? And then when other people are doing their activity and then contributing that delights me really. So I was so happy to see the configuration of this app. Wellness, obviously, that's one thing, and also how this is automatically teaching some behavior. Walk, right? We always talk about move the body. That's what wellness. And then keep the mind silent. But go deeper thinking, go understand, go inquire, go find out. All those things are healthy things that we are encouraging people. So simple living involves so much more. Yeah, I think Daryl appreciates what I'm talking about. I'm good, Daryl. You guys are doing all this. So uh, this kind of simple things. right? This is something we are doing every day. And then we are incorporating our maybe altruistic thinking, maybe something like a, you know, uh, out of ourselves, beyond ourselves, we want to do something. Actually, I always talk about this whenever I give a lecture on the stress. See, companies call me for the meeting of their executives or meeting of their labor or whatever, right? Then I always ask them, do you guys always ask a question whether am I asking the company more for myself, or am I doing something for the country? Just like Kennedy talked about. Are you doing more for the country? Or are you asking the country to do that kind of thing? Same thing. In any institution, if you ask that question and if you say, I'm going to contribute to the welfare of everybody first, your stress will go down automatically. You won't be demanding people, rather, you'll grow on them and they may compensate you more because you have the spirit of contributing to the institution, to the larger interests of people. The same thing with this new vibe that I heard when I went and saw the causes. I was really happy to see them. Okay, it's not forcing anybody. It's kind of making people think. It's not charging them anything. It's kind of making them really go in a good ways of good health, good wellness. That's a very good thing. You see, even now, if you look at, many people are not the optimal happiness that they could be in, right? So they have this not cleaned up interior, and outward there were so many pressures, and people are trying to maneuver around the life, um, really bearing a lot of unnecessary suffering, I call it. You don't have to. You can be joyful, you can be contributing, you can live your life too, but you can make a simplified thing. Suppose we think this whole earth is our institution, and what are we doing to it before we take the resources from it? Then you see all the carbon imprint, all the wastage, all the unnecessary travels that we do, or use the same car, different people coming in there, four people, six people, eight people, all the are living in livable areas, like there's 100 livable areas. One of them is Dubuque, which is close to me here. What they did was they made all important things for the living very closely available. So you don't have to use the vehicles. You don't have to travel by train. You can just bicycle or you can walk, and then you will save a lot of gasoline that way. That may be simple, but when it is put together on several communities around the country, around the world, look at how much we can save. That's simplification, not owning a car, just sharing a car with other people. Maybe there will be driverless cars now that will come and pick us up and then take us to the work, and then there will be another one waiting for us to pick up from there and leave us home. That kind of thing. So I'm looking to a lot of electrical vehicles that are made to, for example, you are in a conference, they come and take you from one place to other place, and then nobody need to be there. No carbon has to be expended on that. That's a wonderful thing too. So we have means, provided we want to simplify our external life and not being this unconscious of the waste, unconscious of the carbon print that we are leaving on the earth. But if we can do that, so simplify the life, there is so much more energy saved because you don't have to safeguard all these things that you are accumulating. You don't have to rent places to store some things, and then you can recycle them. You can make them useful to other people. Like, so if you have 20 pairs of clothes, you know, you can give maybe 15 of them, right? Or you can give half of them, yeah, that's what it is. uh, some of them may not fit you anymore. Okay, that is what I did. I became kind of same weight, right? But then some of the shirts are kind of loose now. Somehow I said they look very very balloon like, so I kind of gave them away because I don't wear them. So why do I have to waste them, right? So that kind of thing. So simple life means it comes from high thinking of our day-to-day issues or world issues or whatever. To think deep, you have to care about these, the planet, the people around, the communities, all of that. Uh, so that's why when a person who is serious is thinking seriously, then he will be doing much better than somebody who thinks just for himself, who thinks only immediate what is happening within himself, or thinks of only my life and nothing else. Those kind of limited thinking has put people in this situation anyway. Many of the people are not aware of the war, for example, and they allow it to happen, unfortunately, are unaware of the things that are going on. You know. So if anybody wants to come up and agree with me or tell me what it is, I'll be happy to. Hi, Jacob. How are you? I don't know whether Jacob is able to talk. He usually comes up. So. Okay, okay. He's in travel right now. That's okay. He is spending the week talking to people. So this is, uh, I'm going to run this as a course, this simple living and higher thinking, whereby we don't have to be pointing out anybody that you are not being simple, but then give them ideas, give them avenues where they can not lose anything by being simple. We don't want to ask them to something that they really value as a chair, for example, and they have used it, they have some affection for to there because the grandpa sat there, whatever. Those kind of things, something meaningful. Yeah, sure. For example, they can always do that. They can. But I'm talking about uh, never thought of, never kind of were like that, and unconsciously running them and keeping them, wasting them, and also cramping for space, all those things, that kind of thing. Basically, the things don't have the value as the people, right? Once we have that perspective, I think we will do uh, much more willingly, much more awareness is there, and then we can distribute them. For example, you have things, and then you don't use it, you can give it to somebody else who don't have that, that kind of thing. So that simplified approach where you are having a higher thinking of community level, country level, world level, and that thinking reflecting in your life where you are simple, and then you kind of bring in that. Okay, the course will be more like what are the things that people really categorize, right? What is the basic living for food, shelter, and clothing, and what is the fancy things that they may have had, where they may like one season, they may not like the other season, and they may want to replace it, or valued things or memorable things like that. You can classify them and then work on which one I want to preserve, which I want to reuse or recycle, things like that, but not getting into the marketers, and then they are allowing us to lead a very complicated outward life and really unknowing, unthinking, unaware human beings inside. That's how these things grow up into these kind of menaces, right? Um, Suppose you are very happy with a contented life. That means you are not asking for anything more. See, somebody said, greed is nothing but if you ask for more, that's it. Okay. So you don't have to ask so much, but you can live very well with what you have. And then the moment you see around the room and you see some of the things are not being used or not being useful to you anymore, we could give it away. So I'm going to suggest some minimalistic ways that are popular with young people. Some of the minimalistic with the executives because they want to have less burden so that they are stressed less, right? If you go and look at a good executive, usually he will have with the new technology, new things that we have. We don't need to have except a iPad maybe or something. Even if you might look at my desk, you'll see only the few electronic things, but otherwise paper and all those things will not be there. And paper, and people used to think I'm kind of miserly. It's not that I'm in my office. I wanted a paperless office way before everybody was on that bandwagon. EMRs, 2008, right? So I was said, in my office, everything is paperless. Let me make it like that, you know. So uh, fax is gone. We took it off fax because we know it can come to the email, and when we want only we will print. Otherwise, we won't. Otherwise, everybody sends all the fax reports of the patients, not one time, 10 times, and then it automatically prints, and then you have a lot of paper there. So by taking away the fax machine, because the fax can come into the computer, we can store it and then we can print it. So I said, why can't we do that? Why do you have to print it? They all thought I have some obsession about this printing thing. No, I'm being sensitive to the trees. I want to do my contribution by not allowing this unnecessary paper printing, which I'm not going to even look at it. Lots of times, what used to happen, I order something and they have a result. I go and look at the computer and immediately I say, okay, I'll make the decision. So I don't need to look at the paper thing at all. So I moved on from the paper to the digital way before everybody, right? But people misunderstood that he's a very miserly guy. He doesn't want to waste even a paper, as though paper is no value at all. That kind of things. So those kind of things people may not be paying attention to, may not have in their awareness sphere. I want to bring forth so that they can look at it. They can. We're not going to tell anybody do this, don't do this. That is not the idea. The idea is be sensitive to simplifying your external life, and also spend the time to think deeper within and with the larger issues of our life, not just our life, individual life, but the life itself. And if you can contribute to the life, then that this formula is really leads to happiness, because you feel contented that I'm able to live simply and not waste things, not really contribute to the destruction of the planet in a way. And also, because your clarity, you are thinking deeper, you will grow as a person within, and that will help you to see things in a different perspective. Hopefully, I made myself clear. I'm very excited because these kind of things really excite me. This was obviously followed by Vivekananda, I believe. The first time he coined this simple living outwardly and higher thinking inwardly. That was, see, these people are, they kind of sacrificed everything, and they, by training, they don't want to have many things. That is their training. That is their way of life. So they call that monks, right? They are sannyasis. That means they have given away all things, and then they wear this clothing also that is orange. Orange is a symbol of sacrifice. So they do that, and they don't run a family, they don't marry, they don't have any bonds like that. But they are related to the larger family of the humanity. They are responsible for the earth and the societies and all. So they make everything much easier for other people, because their job is to sit in meditation to find out deeper causes of life and solutions for the deeper problems of suffering, and then bring them to the fore of the people who are not in that kind of mode, but then give them solace, give them counseling, give them suggestions when they are in a tricky spot. I am kind of fascinated about what is a monk like mind. you know that's what I'm more interested in, monk like mind. And I wrote a couple of papers on that too. And that's very fascinating. If you can you don't have to sacrifice everything, but if you can cultivate what I call monk like mind, then these things become much easier, much better. Okay, we will talk about that monk like mind at some other day. But today's topic is live outwardly very simple, like a child, and inwardly be very serious, utterly serious about things, about thinking, about going deep into these matters, not for intellectual curiosity, satisfaction, but honestly, as a human being, as a part of the human being tribe, how can you contribute? You see, this line I liked very much. What is that you are contributing to the life is more important than what you want from the life, right? Everybody wants to live their life, individual life, career, like a birth and education and marriage and kids and having all the fun things in between. There's nothing wrong with it. But along with that, what is that you are contributing to the life? To the life of the animals, to the life of the plants, to the life of the planet itself, to the life of society's problems. Uh, if you then you become the leader, right? You're basically having a vision for a larger issue that's not really immediately yours, but you're part of that too. The moment you're the leader, you're having the vision, you're having the solutions, not only help your family and you, but also help the larger communities, larger societies, right? So, in that spirit, we should be cultivating this. I'm going to stay with this topic for a few days and then indicate opportunities to simplify the external life, and then also at the same time tie it with a deeper inner thinking, and then we can always come to that. That is a good balance, and it could be like uh, a detective seeking opportunities where everything is and how we can use that and all that, right? Then a lot of things will come out. For example, you want to simplify your food, for example, and I was always an advocate for growing our own vegetables for the sheer fact of wellness. Okay, because a lot of people eat the food from the supermarkets. They have a lot of insecticides, fertilizers, and fertilizers that are chemicals. So a lot of chemical later. We all know that, but they say just go and just wash and do it. No, traces of that still stays on the food, because for preservation, for appearing new, they spray all these chemicals on them. We know that, right? And then they keep it on this. So somebody who is a physician who is aware of these trace elements that can escape all this washing and everything, and they can stay on there for a while to make the food more preservable. I'm sensitive to that. And then I'm sensitive to the increased incidence of cancer in American society. So, tying it up, one of the, not necessarily the only, but one of the etiological agents, that is causative agents, is this trace element for the cancer, some kind of cancers, right? So then we say, why can't we eliminate that? The solution for that is grow your own vegetables without all this, or buy the vegetables organically grown where they don't have this insecticides, they don't have fertilizers and all that, right? What was supposed to be good, we end up using it indiscriminately. Too much chemical use in raising our crops. That's why we are losing the topsoil, we are losing the organic content, the worms and germs and all of them in the soil are lost. So our produce don't have that organic vitality that we wanted, right? So we are eating foods that are literally poisonous in a way, slow poison maybe. So I used to tell my patients, why don't we take a thing and then grow up simple things like tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, some of the cilantro and other herbs, or you can do a small area where you can cultivate all that, uh, my patients took it to the heart, and some of them they don't stay in Iowa during the winter time. They go to Florida. They have a home at Florida. They have a home here. So when it becomes hot in Florida, they come to Iowa, right? They stay here very nicely. And when this gets too cold, they go to Florida. So the guys who are going to Florida, they were growing oranges. So I used to get a big basket of oranges every time they go there and they grow it, because they say, "Oh, our doctor has inspired us and motivated us to do this, so we should be sending them." I couldn't say no to them because they were giving as a gift, as a love. They don't have to. I didn't demand them. They were just giving to me. And they were so good, so beautiful, because they absorbed this compost fertilizer. You see, all the peels of the onions, all the peels of the garlic and everything that instead of throwing out there, put it in a pit in the backyard and cover it up and let it be a compost fertilizer, which is very good for the plants. Right? I did all this with my patients, and I was very happy when few of them picked it up and did that. You know, there was one old woman today. She came into one of the rooms, and she is growing vegetables like that, and she was advocating. So I was very happy to go and support her. I said I wholeheartedly support this. This is what we should be doing. Organically grown used to be genuine. People really grew organically, but then that also got corrupted, and so this commercial angle corrupts everything. So we have to take some of these things on our own. So I don't mean to bring in anything old or something, but it's something that we need. So let us explore in this series what are the simple things that an American society has the chance, has the opportunity to do that. Basically, our daily life, how can we simplify? For example, we are taking a cab. Instead of taking a cab, share the cab with some people. Suppose you have a walkable distance, go and walk and get your vegetables if you could. If you're walking environment is there. In Iowa, we have ice lots of times, so we may not be able to walk, but we will definitely try to walk when it is warm and nice here. So we just have a bikes, and we have a dike on the river. So go on the dike with the bicycles, and that will be wonderful, right? So whatever chances we have, we could simplify our daily routines. And I think one of the things is it will take you away from the Netflix and all the TV viewing, and you will go and then spend time in the nature, which is a good thing too. Hi, Jacob. Can you talk now?
Yes, bonjour.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
How are you?
I am great. I'm really passionate about this topic, simple living and higher thinking. So I'm enjoying this.
I like the concept of simple too.
Yeah, yeah. This I heard way back when I was a child, Jacob. It came from the Gandhi's work, and he was proposing that while he was alive to all the people who were coming to his. They called it ashram. Ashram means like in the olden ages, they used to call this place where this holy man used to live. and everybody around him also come there. And this holy man is selfless worker, and helps everybody to take shelter in there or to grow spiritually and all that. So that's a special meaning, like a hut. They what they use the sticks, bamboo sticks, and also coconut leaves, coconut tree leaves, right? And then they make a nice hut, and that hut is very cool. Only thing is, in summer it can get burnt. Otherwise, even then many people use that as a hut that they can build it for themselves, and then they live there. So he used to live there, and he used to give shelter to everybody, anybody who wants to come there. Only condition of the ashram is everybody has to do their own thing, you know, uh, clean up, or getting the water, or cooking, and all those things they have to help, or they have to do by themselves. And they have to prepare their own clothing also. They have this charney, right? That they can get the thread out of it, and then they do the thread, and then they weave it into cloth and all that. So that was the simplest. They didn't want any technology in the ashram, not even electricity at the time. Not that they are against it, but they wanted to test themselves how simply they can go to simple. You know. So you like that idea of higher thinking too?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the higher thinking is not about how smart I can be to make a good kill or something like that. That's not it. It's more like how much you are thinking about other people, about society as a whole, that kind of thing. And that kind of thing actually opens our mind quite a lot, and then helps us to be in clarity, in higher mode, where you really thrive. You don't have this stress responses for everything. You are fearful because you don't want anything, you just want to contribute. That's a very healthy state too. So I'm going to plan to do this few talks, maybe 3 4 talks, where we can list some of the opportunities in our daily American life, what we could do, simplify, but at the same time, not really sacrificing anything, but being smart about it. And also how we can do, for example, opportunities to think deeply about our daily activities, daily encounters. What are the prevalent, propaganda and all that. That will help us a lot. So, what do you think about that? Should we do that? Maybe point out something. Maybe other people can bring them too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds good.
yeah. You can also participate. You can suggest the ways. Then we'll put it out there, and I'm going to make a nice ebook or film on this with my ideas, and maybe that will help some people too.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah. This technology, especially, it can help us in a big way in this, because we could do a lot more with technology now than we were doing before, right? So, like I said about as automated driving cars, I saw in one conference. I think it's a big conference. So, like a Disney and all that, that kind of big conference. You saved gas, you saved a driver's, his own labor and all that. And then it is very safe because it has these doors that are revolving, Jacob. They open up like a, what was that car? Back to the Future? DeLorean car, right? The wings, like, they go up and then they close and then they come down. So it's very efficient and very comfortable, very easy. So that saved a lot of money for the people. Before, they were used to pick up people in buses, and then motor them to the other buildings and all that. That was not uh, very efficient because we had to wait and we had to stand in the bus and we had to go there. But now it's very comfortably takes everybody very quickly and comes back to other people. So only 6 or 8 people are taken at a time, but then the whole lot of time is saved. And then you are always sure that one is gone, the other one is next day. Every minute there is one. Okay. So very efficient systems are coming up, and that is going to save us a lot more in terms of carbon print, in terms of our physical energy, psychological energy, and all that. So I'm excited about that. Um, do you think they will be more common, these electrical vehicles? So that's the plan. We will make a few days of elaborating our thoughts. Maybe other people can contribute too, and that will be nice. Okay. So where are you, Jacob? Now are you, Jacob? Okay, maybe he's busy. Something. Um, Anybody on the wisdom app want to come up and participate in the discussion? Okay. Juby, Angela Pross, John Bush, Coach Alyssa, Lois, Daryl, Kristen, lot of my familiar people, all of them. I was looking at the new app of the Wisdom, and uh, because it is kind of oriented towards wellness, I got a lot excited about the transition, and hopefully that will help more people to be well. My dictum: to be well for a long time and also enjoy, not in being miserable like a vegetable, right? And also you find your inner happiness, inner health and wealth, right? So this will encourage what I was talking about. People will have healthful, wellness oriented activities that are going to contribute to the betterment of the society and to the individual himself and to the society, which is good. The charitable causes, the donation, and making you do engage in healthful behavior, that's going to reward you, but also reward you not even with money, but with your good health, right? And then, so that this is what I preach people to: move your body and keep the mind silent. That's my saying, right? And also, I take a lot of pride in customization of functional exercise to the people who come to me for the stress and burnout. So, suppose I talk to a nurse or a doctor, I usually ask them what is their setup. Some people may be stationed in the ER, some people may be going all over the hospital, some people may be in the ICU, much more restricted, that kind of thing. Then we devise opportunities for them during the work day, while at work. Okay. That's So some things are required for that. First of all, the routines that are given to you that you're supposed to do, but also you should be body aware. You should be aware of your own body. That means listening to your body's cues. If you are so occupied with your own, whatever work you are doing, and you don't even feel the back pain, you don't feel the neck pain, you don't feel the stiffness in the joints and all that, then you are out of touch with your body, right? But not being obsessed about it and being upset because I have the back pain, I have the knee pain. No, not that. But just observing body as an object and getting the cues and getting the signals that body is telling you something. That intelligence, then you devise your own program For example, you are required to document sitting in front of a computer, you know, but you also have this thing now you can dictate into the EMR, and you can stand up and move around and do that too. Even templates that have this uh, uh, small macro commands like that we can envision. What you can do is you can dictate them, and then they'll pick it up and print it out. Of course, with the AI, is much easier now, right? For example, now I use Speechify to read my documents and everything. So I kind of scan them into that, and then immediately I can allow that to happen. And then I have my both earphones, and then I'll be going around listening to that. And then I can walk in the corridor and then listen to that. You know, so you can invent so many ways you can have the functional fitness while at work, provided you have this sensitivity of listening to your own body's cues. That's one thing. The other thing is, suppose you are going through so many things in the busy schedule, and you encounter so many challenges or so many so-called dangers, all those stimuli that will cause sympathetic stimulation for you, right? Then your system reacts either with fear or with a sense of let me fight or flight syndrome. Those small sympathetic activating stimuli are the problem in modern life, because you are in a hurry, you are already under threat, you have a deadline, you have some supervisor breathing down your neck. For the doctors, these are insurance companies or pharmacists or any of the number of things, right? And then they're burning out because they're accumulating these sympathetic activating stimuli throughout the day, and they react mildly, but they put it away and they accumulate, kind of a bearing down, like, you know, which is not good. So I teach them, okay, don't react like that. How you do it is you kind of spend some days, but then review those days, and then make sure you have learned from those things, you have seen the triviality of those, or you have seen the importance of those reactions, and then resolve them practically, do something about them. Then you will not be mentally, you will not be emotionally reacting to every small thing. Trivialities, don't do that. Then lots of times people don't have even time be aware of. Again, the same thing comes. Cues from your mental reactions, emotional reactions are there for you to follow. Just to say, be mindful is not enough. You got to be aware of these things and don't succumb to it, don't fight them, don't suppress them, but then list them, and also at the end of the day, review them and then take action. If they are trivial, you don't have to, don't cling on to them, dump them away. You are done with it. But if it is something important, like a relationship, like a something, related to a patient's health, or any of those important things are there, then you got to write them down and then do all the list the next day, so that you feel good that you have accomplished what you said you will do, right? So treating body as an object, mind as an object, and being sensitive to the cues that they give during the workday, that will help you a lot. This is all my wellness programs that I do, I'm telling you guys. So once you do that, what is happening is you are building the stamina of resistance for the body and also for the mind. This I call inner resilience. Once you have developed this, then the situations may be the same come next time. You have more power to deal with it. You are not depleted, you are not spent, you are not burnt out, you are not stressed. But using that negative experiences, you have built up the inner resilience for yourself. And then you can deal with those things much better. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So spend the day, and then listen to the body, listen to the mind, and then resolute all those things to gain real resistance from it, and then use that for the next step. That's what happens with any infection. The infection comes in, body tries to respond with the immune reaction where antibody are formed, and then they release pyrogens, which cause the fever and all that, right? Once that is all done, then what happens? Then you are really equipped with more strength to attack the next batch of infections that are coming in. That's how the immunity builds up the resistance, resilience, and then fights the bug that is going to come. The same thing here you are doing with the societal insults or your own mind-made insults, right? So once you do that, you'll be happy that you have gained strength from the offending agents coming into you and you developing the resilience. Okay, so hopefully this all helps you. All right. I think I spoke whatever. Jacob, you have anything you want to talk to me about, or Jacob is silent today? Maybe he's occupied with work. All right, everybody. If you don't have any questions or you don't want to come up, then I will end it here, and I will bring this topic again tomorrow, and I will present some ideas of mine of how to be simple outwardly without being a monk or anything, but how to be higher thinking like a monk inside. We will talk about that tomorrow. Okay, bye bye. Okay, Jacob, I'll see you tomorrow.